We've all been there, experiencing the breathtaking joy of connection, only to feel the agonizing sting of loss, betrayal, or disappointment. It makes you wonder, is the old adage true? Is love in its very essence synonymous with pain? Philosophers and poets across every civilization have grappled with this question. If love is meant to be the highest good, why does it inflict the deepest wounds? Today, we will explore this profound paradox, moving beyond sentimentality to analyze the anatomy of love and pain through the lens of the Quran. The Quran gives us multiple concepts for love, such as hub, general affection, mawadda, deep, friendly love, and rahmah, unconditional mercy and compassion. Our answer lies in understanding which kind of love we are discussing, and why our human, temporary attachments are inherently vulnerable to suffering. The ultimate reality is that love, when rooted in the temporary, will lead to pain, but when rooted in the eternal, it becomes the purest source of tranquility. Let's start with the psychological reality. Human love is based on attachment, and attachment, by definition, involves the risk of separation. From an evolutionary perspective, attachment is essential for survival, the bond between parent and child, or partners forming a stable unit. But this necessity comes with a price. The moment you value something outside of yourself, you create a point of vulnerability. The pain we feel when a loved one leaves, or when a relationship ends, is proportionate to the depth of our emotional investment, a testament to the reality of the bond. The Quran establishes this vulnerability as an inevitable part of the human journey. Trials and losses are guaranteed. They are not anomalies, but the very mechanism of spiritual growth. Do people think that they will be left alone because they say, "We believe," and will not be tested? Surah Al-Ankabut, chapter 29, verse 2. This verse immediately reframes the pain of love and loss. It is not a flaw in the design of love, but a deliberate test of the strength of the believer's reliance on the eternal. When we love a person, a status, or a possession unconditionally, we are placing an infinite expectation on a finite object. That mismatch is the source of all suffering. The pain is not caused by the love itself, but by the shattering of the illusion of permanence surrounding the object of that love. Global literature, from the Greek tragedy of Orpheus and Eurydice to the romantic poetry of the 19th century, constantly reflects this theme, the tragedy of loving something destined to decay or depart. The Quran encourages love, but consistently reminds us that all earthly relationships are secondary to the primary relationship with the Creator. This perspective provides a spiritual insulation. When our love for someone is built upon our shared journey towards God, that love transcends the physical separation of life and death. The Quran uses the word rahmah, mercy and compassion, which is a form of proactive, enduring love that seeks to protect and cherish, irrespective of reciprocation. Rahmah is the divine quality that underpins all creation, and it is the ideal foundation for human relationships. Unlike hub, passion, or affection, Rahmah is less about receiving and more about giving, making it less vulnerable to the pain of disappointment. The core tension is that we seek Rahmah, unconditional, merciful love from our partners, but we often offer them only hub, conditional, passionate love. The gap between these two is where the pain resides. Now let's turn to the primary Quranic model for lasting human love, the spousal relationship. The Quran beautifully defines the basis of marriage not as ishq, mad, consuming passion, which is fleeting, but as two enduring qualities. And of His signs is that He created for you from yourselves mates that you may find tranquility in them, and He placed between you affection and mercy. Indeed, in that are signs for a people who give thought. Surah Ar-Rum, chapter 30, verse 21. Notice the two pillars. Mawadda, affection, which is a gentle, shared appreciation, and rahmah, mercy, which means overlooking faults and providing support during hardship. Mawadda provides the emotional warmth, but it is rahmah that provides the stability necessary to withstand pain and trials. Rahmah is the antidote to the pain of love because it teaches us endurance and forgiveness, the qualities needed when the object of our affection inevitably falls short of our idealized image. The pain we feel is often the pain of shattered expectations, not the pain of genuine love. True love, rooted in rahmah, accepts imperfection. Consider the narrative of the prophet Jacob, peace be upon him, and his intense love for his son, the prophet Joseph, peace be upon him. This story is an epic of love, loss, and the deepest possible agony. The grief of a father believing his beloved son is gone forever. The prophet Jacob's, peace be upon him, suffering was so intense that he lost his eyesight. This is the ultimate example of human attachment leading to debilitating pain. Yet his response was not despair, but profound sabr, patience. He never questioned God's decree, but insisted on hopeful remembrance. I only complain of my suffering and my grief to God, and I know from God that which you do not know. Surah Yusuf, chapter 12, verse 86. This shows that the pain of separation is real. It is acknowledged, but it must be channeled towards the only source that can truly relieve it: God. The pain became the purifier for the prophet Jacob, peace be upon him, forcing his attachment from the temporary form, his son, to the eternal reality, God's plan. This is the crucial turning point. Pain in love teaches us that we are dependent, vulnerable, and ultimately reliant on a transcendent power. From a neurological standpoint, the brain registers social pain, like rejection or grief, in the same regions that process physical pain, confirming that emotional suffering is profoundly real. This universality of emotional pain suggests a shared, universal mechanism for growth. If it didn't hurt, we wouldn't change, evolve, or seek a deeper truth. The pain in love is a cosmic reminder that the perfection we seek exists only in the divine and in the reward of the hereafter. By directing our ultimate attachment to the Creator, we ensure that our love for people is healthy, appreciative, and merciful, rather than demanding, possessive, or ultimately painful. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, encouraged this transcendental perspective, stating that one of the sweetest forms of faith is to love someone solely for God's sake. This kind of love is pain-resistant because its foundation is not the fallibility of the person, but the stability of the divine connection. It means loving their goodness, their striving, and their potential, rather than their ability to perfectly fulfill your emotional needs. Let's look at another profound Quranic narrative: the concept of qarar, or established rest. We are constantly seeking rest, tranquility, and peace from the turmoil of life. We often seek this qarar in relationships, expecting our partner to be our emotional refuge, our shield against the world. The Quran explains that the earth itself is a place of qarar for us. It is God who made for you the earth a place of settlement and the sky a canopy. Surah Ghafir, chapter 40, verse 64. The stability of the earth is a sign, but the ultimate, unchanging qarar resides in God alone. When we mistakenly try to turn a human being into our permanent place of rest, we put an unbearable burden on them, and the resulting instability leads to pain. The pain in love is often the result of this idolatry of attachment, making the human relationship the center of our spiritual universe. The world's wisdom traditions agree. Detachment from the outcome is the key to inner peace. The Quran provides the theological basis for this detachment. It is not detachment from people, but detachment from the ownership of people, and from the demand that they must remain unchanged and present forever. This detachment does not negate love. It refines it. It converts conditional love into unconditional rahmah. Consider the love that endures beyond tragedy, such as the loss of a child or a spouse. That enduring love, free from the physical form, is the pure rahmah that remains. The pain of the loss gradually gives way to the mercy of the memory and the appreciation for the time spent together. This purification through pain is a universal spiritual mechanism recognized in various forms of global contemplation and mindfulness. The highest form of love is to love people into their own highest good, even if that means they grow away from you. This is the ultimate, selfless rahmah. The story of the prophet Abraham, peace be upon him, is the paramount example of testing love and loyalty. His trials, leaving his family in the desert, and the command to sacrifice his son, the prophet Ishmael, peace be upon him, were all tests of ultimate devotion. The pain inherent in these commands was immense, but it was designed to prove that his love for God superseded his deep, natural love for his family. The outcome demonstrated that God does not destroy the object of natural love, but sanctifies it, restoring his family and affirming the value of his son. This narrative teaches us that true love is not the absence of pain, but the triumph of loyalty over pain. Our brief journey through this life is like a temporary love story, where every joy is a sign of God's mercy and every pain is a reminder to seek the lasting reality. The pain is functional. It serves to pivot us from the fragile, conditional loves of this world to the vast, unbreakable love of the divine. When we understand this, the pain of love transforms from a destructive force into a constructive teacher. It teaches us sabr. It teaches us shukr, gratitude for the time we had. And it teaches us to love wisely and mercifully. So, is love pain? Yes, human love, rooted in attachment, is inextricably linked to the pain of vulnerability and impermanence. But the Quranic vision of love, rahmah, is the spiritual technology that converts that temporary pain into eternal peace. The true purpose of emotional pain is not to crush us, but to guide us to the source of peace. When our affections are aligned with the eternal, our love for others becomes less possessive and more expansive, less demanding and more merciful. This is the difference between loving someone because of what they do for you and loving them because of their inherent sacredness as a creation of God. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was the ultimate embodiment of rahmah, dealing with loss, betrayal, and profound sorrow with mercy and composure. His life narrative provides the practical blueprint for how to love deeply without allowing that love to destroy your faith or your tranquility. We hope this exploration has given you a powerful framework to understand the complex emotional landscapes of love and suffering. The next time you experience the sting of disappointment, remember that it is merely the temporary telling you it cannot sustain an eternal burden. Use that pain as a compass to guide your heart toward the unchanging and the everlasting source of mercy. Our mission here at Quran X Insight is to take these profound Quranic concepts and make them accessible, actionable, and truly insightful for your daily life. We believe that spiritual understanding is the key to navigating the emotional complexity of the modern world. If this discussion helped you understand the purpose behind the pain of love, and if it resonated with your own experiences, please support our channel and help us bring this message of tranquility and wisdom to a global audience. Take a moment to like this video. Your engagement helps others who are struggling with this very question find our content. Share this video script with anyone who has ever experienced heartbreak or is seeking a spiritual foundation for their most important relationships. And most importantly, please subscribe to the Quran X Insight channel and ring that notification bell. We are committed to exploring the most vital questions of existence, and your subscription ensures you are always part of the conversation. Thank you for your continued support and for joining us on this journey of insight. May your attachments be healthy and your heart be anchored in mercy.